Hello and welcome back to the Spin and Rock podcast. I'm your host, Angel, and with me today are my co-hosts.
Eugene?
And Vaughn.
After a 2-week holiday break, we are back. I hope both y'all had a great holiday because not we did we kind of went AWOL for a little bit, but we have a lot of news to get into. Starting with Kings fired Mike Brown. After their poor start to the season, they parted ways with him. What do you guys think about this? How do y'all feel about this?
This is a very accurate Kings decision to make. They've done this before with Mike Malone all those years ago. I don't know what their thought process is behind that decision, considering he brought them to the playoffs for the first time in however long. The sentiment seems like it always seems to be the coach getting thrown on the bus. We've seen it in other franchises. Because look at this roster. How is this roster supposed to play any defense? And Mike Brown loves defense. It's just like it was doomed from the start at this if we're just looking at it that way. But yeah, pretty disappointing to see.
Yeah, I mean, not much to talk about outside of everything Vaughn brought up, like just another dumb moves that the Kings are doing. And although Doug Christie will be taking over, I don't know how much that's going to change or even who will want to be a head coach for the Kings going forward. You know what I mean? Like, he turned the team completely around from where they were, signed a 3-year deal just for him to get fired not even half a season later, just based on, how they've been playing. So it's just, I don't know, the Kings are doomed forever.
Yeah, kind of insane how they just like threw him to the side so quickly, bro. I will say a lot of people say like his lineups were horrible, but like, bro, you look just look at what he's done with the team. Like in the fucking 2 years he's been there, he can have one season where he doesn't have good lineups, if that was even true. His lineups weren't as bad as people say they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not much you can do with that. I don't know. It's crazy how quickly they fired him. I think this is probably up there with the Raptors firing Dwayne Casey after he won Coach of the Year. Like, it's kind of insane.
Yeah. Or even like Budenholzer with the Bucks.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Something personal for uh one of us here, which is D'Lo has been traded. Um, it was basically, I don't remember it because it was literally for nothing.
It was
Like people,
for Dorian Finney-Smith, I think maybe another player,
and
and
Shake Milton,
yeah, and like a pick.
3 future second round picks. We'll start with the Lakers fan. I feel like you have more knowledge about this than me and Vaughn.
I didn't like it. I don't know why we necessarily sent him back to the Nets for. Isn't Shake Milton hurt too, or wasn't
Uh,
he at the time?
I
Or am
don't
I
think.
thinking DeAnthony Melton?
Oh yeah, D'Anthony Melton's out for the rest of the season. Shake Milton, if he's not playing, it's DNPs.
Yeah,
He's
see,
healthy.
like I don't know, and I wasn't a big fan of Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, I'm still not, but I guess the trade wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But I still don't know why we gave him up, especially because, the way he was playing, at least as of late. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily know what Klink is thinking, but trust the process, I guess.
I will say at least the defense is predicted to get better because that's like Dorian Finney-Smith's calling his defense. And maybe corner threes because that's kind of what he does in offense. He kind of just stands there to the side and waits for an open shot, and LeBron can get him those. But you're Shake Milton will have one amazing game per year where he goes off for 30 or 40, and then he's gone. You don't hear anything about him for the rest of the season. Um, so I can tell, I can see why a lot of Lakers fans wouldn't be excited. It's a pretty boring trade. But Rob Pelinka has to be cooking something more than this. He can't be like, I did my trade for the year, and that's like that would be crazy. Um, but I don't know. Just based off Pelinka's history, I don't know how much more he can do unless he starts giving up first rounders.
Right. And I don't even know how many we have. We probably only got like 3.
If even, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a boring trade. It's also like if I think the main reason was like, he was bricking a lot and he just wasn't playing that well. But like, bro, you traded mid for mid. Like, you're not getting anything back that's like better. Like, especially for like, I don't know. I just feel like JJ Redick wanted him out of there because like he didn't like him the second he took over the coaching job. Like Russell was on and off the bench all the time. And like there was times in the game where you could see he's visibly upset with the decisions he was making on the court. So I just think he was like JJ Redick was like, I want him out of here, and he was out of there. But I don't know, got to be more coming for sure because I feel like there's some more exciting things the Lakers can trade for.
Pelinka always got something up his sleeve, so trade deadline will be interesting.
All right, next up, keeping up with the trades. Jimmy Butler has asked for a trade officially. It was rumors coming out that he requested one, and then pretty sure it was what's his name? I know, popular guy, basketball legend. I don't know. Someone said he's not getting traded, and then
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley.
Yeah.
He was like, he's not going anywhere, and then basically, like, not even like a week later, it's been official. He requested a trade, and then he did a press conference basically saying like, I just want to play somewhere that will make me happy, and that's not here. And now he's suspended. So how do y'all feel about this whole journey with the Jimmy Butler trade situation?
I'm glad he's getting out of there. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's ran his course. He's done everything he's tried to do, and it just hasn't necessarily worked out in the way that he hoped for. Where is he going to go? Who knows? He's going to go to a contender for sure. Well, I guess that's up to,
the Heat.
Yeah, but I feel like he should go to a contender because if he doesn't, he's probably never getting one at this point in his career. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. It is very Jimmy Butler fashion for it to like all this news to surround him like this because we got the Timberwolves era where like he beat the scrubs or he beat the first team with the scrubs, and now we got this situation. It's like, okay, yeah, I think the Jimmy Butler era in the Heat uniform is done, and I'm kind of excited for that. I know he's older, but like he still has a lot to offer a team. And this is coming off like a team where they were rumored to get like Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, and none of that ever happened. They got Terry Rozier, which I personally like Terry Rozier, but he's not anywhere near them, So just to see something mix up, because I know like he brings intensity and competitiveness to any team, and no matter where he goes, at least that will come with him. I just hope it's not to a team like the Hornets. I feel like there's a curveball out there that is lying in wait, trying to offer everything for Jimmy Butler. But even if he did end up like the Hornets, like they could make a playoff push for the first time in years, and that could still be exciting in some way. So wherever he goes, like I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, I'm low-key sad, bro, because there was a huge chance that Jimmy Butler could have been like a Heat legend like 2 or 3 years ago. Like everyone thought he could be the one to get them a ring since like D Wade and LeBron. And like the Heat fumbled the bag. They just couldn't get him actual help, bro. Like Kevin Love and Terry Rozier Kyle Lowry. Like those were not the guys I was picturing when like Jimmy Butler went to the Heat. And so it's kind of like sad that he like is kind of leaving. Like I'm excited for him personally, like him as a player. It's gonna be nice to see him finally be on a team that like doesn't need him to like put his heart and soul on the court just to like lose in 5 games. Like I'm really excited for that, but like I feel like it could have been like a generational Heat run, and like a ring for the first time in years would have been like insane, but like it just didn't happen. The Heat kept making awful trades and like just getting the wrong guys for the team. All right. Moving on, 2 more pieces of news, and then we get into standings talk. But first, Jaden Ivey is out for the season with a broken fibula. He was having a career year with the Pistons. How do y'all feel about this?
It definitely sucks because like a younger player was reaching heights he was predicted to, and like this year, highest in points, highest in like efficiency, and plus they don't have Monty Williams benching him in favor of Killian Hayes. Like he was actually playing like he should.
Yeah.
And then it's such a rough leg injury too. It sucks to happen, especially since this is the most competitive the Pistons been since like Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
So it definitely leaves a sting to it all.
And it sucks too because, you know, as a younger player, you don't want a injury like this, but at least it's a broken bone rather than, you know, an ACL or something that could, you know,
Ruin a career.
potentially, yeah, exactly. So it could always be worse, but you know, hopefully he comes back, you know, better, plays better, and things like that, and a speedy recovery.
Yeah, it just sucks for the Pistons. They had a chance with how weak the East has been this year. They had a really solid chance of like coming back and like sneaking into the postseason. Also just sucks for him because like a career season, like you had a chance to like fully cement yourself this year, and you like kind of go out in an awful way because he like collided with someone. So it wasn't even like a freak accident. It's just like, well, it was a freak accident. So that's what makes it worse. Pistons apparently, I just looked it up, are somewhat hopeful he'll be back this season, but like I feel like the Pistons shouldn't push it. At the same time, what do I know?
Yeah, because like even if they do rush him, he won't be like in full basketball form. You imagine he's got to find his rhythm again, and yeah.
All right, and I saved the biggest piece of news, in my opinion, and that is D Rose has officially retired from basketball. But not only that, but the Bulls are retiring his jersey next season. How do y'all feel about this? D Rose's legacy and the Bulls honoring him.
It's dope. I mean, I don't want to say it's about time, but at the same time, I kind of do because he should have been on the league way longer than this, like way earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just what he did for the city of Chicago when he was playing for them, on and off the court. You know, very, very inspirational player and human being. So definitely well deserved. It'll be interesting to see if he gets on the ballot though.
He's gotta be, bro. Is there a single MVP who's not in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, that's a great question. I have no idea. And he's the youngest.
He's the youngest.
He's the youngest MVP too.
There's no way he's not. I don't know.
I mean, there were people saying he weren't even going to get his jersey retired. I'm like, he's the people's champ.
Yeah,
everyone
insane.
loves him. Like, there's no way that was never going to happen.
That's actually insane.
So, I mean, he's got a strong case. Like, just that MVP alone, I think is good standing for him. But, like, again, there's so much appreciation for D Rose. I don't think he should be written off very quickly. Like, maybe it takes a little longer for him to get there, but I can definitely picture him going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it is kind of sad that like it took to this point for him to retire. especially after like the Timberwolves and the Pistons. It looked like he might be back, and then like shit just kept going the wrong way for him. But I think it is nice that the Bulls are like doing it so quickly. Like 1 year after he retired is like kind of fast. I feel like that usually only happens for like big players. So it's like it's nice to see how much he appreciated by not just the fans but the NBA in general as well.
I don't even think did Kobe have his retired after or retired? His numbers. Whatchamacallit?
In the rafters, right? Of
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the year after, or was it 2? He retired in 2016. I don't remember if it was 2017 or 18.
Yeah, 2017, December 18th. So they played it close, almost 2018.
Right. So I'm like, yeah, it's a
24.
quick turnaround. A year after you retire, that's a super quick turnaround.
Yeah.
LeBron's gonna have his the day after, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane how fast they retire LeBron's.
Bro, go have 3 statues outside of each arena.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder if every team is gonna do it quickly or like just the Cavs and the Heat. Lakers are definitely gonna do it quickly though. Lakers are gonna do it so quickly.
Genie Buzz out here.
All right, that's it for the news. We're gonna move into some standings talk because it's been so long. The standings has changed a lot since we last talked about it. Who wants to kick us off with East?
I got it. I got it pulled up right now. So at number 1 we got the Cavs. Number 2 the Celtics. The 3 the Knicks. The 4 Magic. 5 the Bucks. 6 the Heat. 7 the Hawks. 8 the Pacers. 9 the Pistons. 10 the Bulls.
First off, any surprises for you guys or any disappointments? Like anything that sticks out to you right away?
Well, for me, the Magic, only because Paolo's been hurt, Franz has been hurt, and now Jalen Suggs is out with an injury.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're still hanging in at 4. Like, the group effort is just like, I don't know how they're doing it. And people talk about, like, great coaches, be it on the Cavs, Celtics, or in the West. No one's talking about the Magic's coach. He's got to be doing something to get, like, maximizing all his players like this. It's gone very understated throughout the season, and I hope they retain it because, like, they may not always be the most interesting team to watch, but they're here for a reason.
Yeah.
Hey, he got him on the PEDs or something, bro. Took him to the cryogenesis clinic and hit him with the super soldier serum or something, bro. Because like there's no way. Well, I mean, obviously there is a way, but like there's no way that basically your 3 best players and Cole Anthony are hurt, and you're still top 5 in your conference. So yeah, I don't know what he's cooking up, but he's cooking. My surprise, I'm still gonna say, is the Cavs. Like, again, I don't know what they did, what they had to do, to get to this point, what inspired them, but they still haven't lost 5 games yet, which we're almost halfway through the season, and it's pretty, insane for them to have like this record right now, this deep in the season. So
No, bro.
I would say it's pretty impressive, especially with the Celtics right behind them. So I think the Cavs are still my surprise right now.
You know what's really crazy, bro? They only lost once home, bro. Like,
And that was against the Celtics.
They are on a fucking it's getting harder and harder to stand by that they won't do well in the playoffs because the further we go into the season, like the more it's getting harder to defend that. I still think that, but like, bro, at one point I thought they were straight up frauds. And now it's like I don't think they're frauds, but I do think it's gonna be a Utah Jazz situation still.
Really?
I still don't think they're gonna do well in the postseason.
So you don't think they're gonna have a Celtics kind of run like last year?
No, not at all.
I
The
think it's
Celtics
only-
possible.
kind of run was kind of legendary, bro.
I think it's possible, bro. The way they're playing right now, I think it's possible.
I don't know. We'll see.
The only question
I
mark-
personally don't think so.
I don't know about Kenny Atkinson in the playoffs because last time we saw him was with the Nets, at least as a head coach.
Mhm.
He's been with the Warriors since, but I don't know how he's going to perform. I mean, he's got a great roster, better than the Nets. You know, Nets'
Right.
best player was D'Lo on a breakout year, and now he's got Donovan Mitchell, two great bigs, and a very smart point guard to go with it. It's just, I know this is the same roster we've seen a lot of the years for the Cavs, but like
Mhm.
maybe he's just like a super genius as a coach. So I think it's a make it break it in a sense. You don't really know what you're gonna get with Kenny Atkinson in the playoffs, but I need to see it. You know, I really do need to see it.
Yeah. For me, it's and this may sound surprising for y'all, but it's the fact that the Sixers are the only team that is still at the bottom. Like the Bucks have climbed their way up, the Hawks climbed their way up, the Heat climbed their way up, but the Sixers are still below 500 out of the play-ins, bro. Like if Doc Rivers can get the Bucks to the 5th seed, like what are the Sixers doing wrong, bro? And I know it's somewhat injuries, but like it just like as a Sixers fan, like if injuries affect you this much to where like you can't even like sneak into the like if the Pistons are in the plan and not you, like I think it's time for the Sixers to blow it up, low key. Put all your money into Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain.
Yeah,
Get
I think
everyone
it's
else
been
out.
time to blow it up low key. And I think Jimmy Butler. I think Joel Embiid should do the same thing Jimmy Butler is doing and demand a trade. Like, bro, you've been there. He probably been there what 10 years now?
Almost, bro. And yeah, I think it actually is 10 years now.
Yeah, and he hasn't gotten to the. Has he been to the Western or Eastern Conference Finals?
Nope, not
They
once.
have never made it past the second round.
Like, bro, you gotta go somewhere else. Like the process has ran out. You can't trust the process this long, and you not even make it to a conference finals yet, with being the star player that you are. You know what I mean? So they just the Sixers gotta build through the draft once again, and get rid of. I don't even know why they got Paul George when he hasn't played. You know, so it's like
Paul George was stupid, bro.
get rid of Paul George, get rid of Embiid, and then like you said, Angel, just build through Maxey and McCain, and just try and build around them as much as possible through the draft. But yeah, the Sixers, I don't know if it's surprising, especially because whether it's players not playing or injuries that they're sitting this low, but it makes sense why they are this low.
Yeah, I think it's more surprising to me because every other team, last time we talked about this, all the teams we talked about have climbed. But every time we look at the Sixers, they have not climbed at all. If anything, I'm pretty sure they're lower than the last time we talked about them. And that's
funny.
kind of insane.
Last 10 games, they're 7-3, which is good, but they're still out of the play-in, bro.
Well, they're
Even-
5-9 at home.
Yeah, it's like they're just not healthy enough ever, and they're not good enough to just fly through. At least like the Bucks had Giannis and Dame. You don't know if you're getting Joel Embiid that game or Paul George that game, plus all the other injuries. It's like, why do teams pursue a second star when that star is also injury prone just as much as their primary? You know, like Kawhi, Paul George didn't work, and now we got Joel Embiid, Paul George. It's just like it's the same mistakes that keeps happening. Like obviously injuries are gonna be a problem, but you make it more of a problem if your dynamic duo is like this. Like Paul George had more podcast episodes at one point than games played. It's crazy.
And the wild thing is, too, he played more games with the Clippers than he has with the Sixers. Like, on average, probably. You know what I mean?
hmm
Like, there's no way. Like, what happened? He went to Philly and just stopped playing.
No, he was getting outplayed by Jared McCain when he was playing. Like
Right.
that can't happen.
I don't know. Paul George either need to, like, retire or go somewhere else, bro. He ain't
Bro,
trying to
more
move
like-
no more.
Yeah. Any other team you want to talk about before we move on to the West?
Nah, not really. It's just, again, Hawks having a equally mid-season.
They're the definition of mid, bro.
Back-to-back seasons. Like,
I'm pretty sure they have not been above 500 like by more than like 2 games. Like they are literally the definition of mid. I remember everyone was saying like, "Oh, the Hawks are looking good again," and it's like, bro, no, the Hawks are literally the definition of mid. How are you 500 almost every single year, bro? And they're 4-6 in their last 10. Like,
That's consistency. I think that has to be admired.
yeah. All right, Western Conference. Why don't you kick us off, Eugene?
the number 1 seed, we got the Thunder, 2, the Rockets, 3, the Grizzlies, 4, the Nuggets, 5, the Lakers, 6, the Mavericks, 7, the Clippers, 8, the Warriors, 9, the Spurs, and 10, the Timberwolves.
Any team that you want to talk about that stands out to you the most?
The Grizzlies.
Even with all the injuries, they're still 3rd seed.
Right. Now, not as many as last season,
No,
but, you know, they pulling through. And they climbed the ladder, too, because they were definitely not this high when we talked about them before.
Mhm.
But we were all high on them, you know, preseason and, you know, earlier in the season. Like, yo, don't count on the Grizzlies, because remember what happened 2 seasons ago? They were sitting, you know, one of the top teams in the West, and now look at them, one of the top teams in the West, competing with both. Oh, well, maybe not with the Thunder, but competing with the Rockets. You know, they're only what? I guess that'd be a half a game back.
So yeah.
Yeah, half a game back against the Rockets. So like, hey, bro, they might do something this season again. Hopefully, we'll see after All-Star break.
Yeah, I hope so, bro. I'm rooting for the Grizzlies. They're such a fun team to watch, and also like, I would love to see John Moran in the postseason again. Like, it's been too long.
Yeah, like I feel like I just want to skip the playoffs and see the Grizzlies perform because
Mhm.
it's been a minute since we got to see that, and I've been saying if the Grizzlies are gonna make a run, it should probably be this year. Like they've had the experience in the past, they've had some disappointments in the playoffs, but like as wide open as the West is right now, like the Grizzlies got to go for it. I don't think it's a surprise they're up here at the 3 seed. I've believed in their core. Now I just need to see it happen. I need to follow through.
Yes.
You go ahead.
For me, the Warriors. I hate the fact that I can't count them out because I like that they're 8th right now, bro. It brings me so much joy and pleasure to see that they're 8th. But there's no telling if they'll climb up. But I just want to also point out how far they have fallen. Like, I'm pretty sure they were the 3rd seed last time we checked on the standings.
Like
And now they're
4. Mhm.
yeah, and now they're all the way down there at 8th, barely above 500, 4-6 in their last 10. I know it's because Curry literally has like no help. But yeah, dude, I just think the Warriors need to do something this trade deadline if they want to like contend in the West.
But like, who do they go after?
Jimmy,
Okay, who are they going to trade for Jimmy or
bro,
what?
I just to make the money work, I would have said Andrew Wiggins, but there was a report saying they don't want to trade Andrew Wiggins.
why,
Like,
though?
why?
They must
Why?
hate Steph Curry, bro. Andrew Wiggins. Last season, it was Podjemski. Why was he untouchable? I don't know. And now it's Andrew Wiggins.
I just
Let-
hope they don't
let me
get
run the
rid of.
franchise.
I just hope they don't get rid of Hield or Kaminga because those are the only two guys I see that are worth keeping, bro.
I mean, Kaminga for the long run, but I also hear a lot of rumors saying that they could also trade Kaminga.
That's so sad, bro. Like, why? Get rid of fucking Kevon Looney. Gary Payton. Why is he still there, bro? Moses Moody. Like, there's so many trade assets. So I guess it's like, who would you? Yeah, I guess it's like none of those guys are Jimmy Butler worthy.
Well, it would have to be. They'd have to give up a lot for Jimmy.
Yeah,
And
it had to
probably some
be.
picks.
It would probably be Kaminga, Healed, and like some picks. Melton, I feel like it also doesn't help that Melton's injured because he could also be good trade bait.
Yeah.
Well, he did get traded for Schroeder.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, Schroeder could be a trade piece too, you know.
Yeah.
Has he even played?
He has, but he's been terrible for the
Okay.
Warriors.
I was like,
I forgot that. I forgot that trade even happened. To be honest, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I completely forgot that trade happened. But yeah, it's just.
Do
I
you
just
think
hope
the
they
Warriors
do.
could fall more?
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, yeah,
For sure. Because the Spurs are starting to find out their groove. Like, they're only one game behind the Warriors. The Timberwolves are like, I wouldn't count Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves out. Like, there's a lot of teams that like can hand them an L, and they're only, like I said, they're 4-6 in their last 10. Like, they're on a 2-game win streak, and they're still 18-16.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if the Spurs and the Timberwolves like figure something out, the Warriors can be like stuck in the play-ins. As long as the Clippers and the Mavs and the Lakers, like, I don't know. I just feel like they could go further down, but I don't see them going up.
Yeah.
You know, like I look at Steph when he's playing, and he either looks tired because he's getting older, or he's tired because he's just done with the team at certain points. He's gonna do so much, like whether he's got the ball in his hands or whether he doesn't. It's just like he's such a important cornerstone. I don't think there's a team out there where someone relies on a player more than Steph Curry at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of disappointing. The Warriors every season have like some questionable guy they just refuse to trade, and it's just like the story that keeps rewriting itself.
I hope they do worse. I want to see Kerr to get fired.
The anti-Kerr agenda is still strong.
It's on my board prediction. I need him to get fired.
Okay. So mine is kind of 2, but it's the fact that the Clippers are at 7 and the Timberwolves are at 10. My anti-Clippers agenda is kind of failing right now, and my pro-Timberwolves agenda is also failing. So it's kind of a punch to the gut for me. Timberwolves, we know the trade has ruined them, but the Clippers, bro, they should not be here. The Clippers, like James Harden's doing his thing. Norman Powell is like the best he's ever played.
Man, Norman Powell rated though.
Yeah, like he's always been a solid scorer, but he's been crazy. It kind of gets under my skin that the fact they're still 7th.
You think they should be higher?
I wish they were lower. They could climb too. It's like
Yeah,
Kawhi
now
is
that Kawhi's back.
Yeah. It kind of just makes me look dumb in my preseason predictions, but there's always surprises out there.
I'll say the Clippers are more surprising than Wolves. I mean, like, they trade away Cat and look what they got. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like they got a even worse Rudy Gobert, and Ant can only do so much because now teams are only focusing on him. So it just, the Wolves just did that to themselves.
I mean, they're barely winning games too, bro. Like when they do win, it's like close games. They only beat the Mavs by 5. They only beat the fucking Spurs by 2. Like, they are struggling right now, bro.
Yeah, and I don't know how many games you've watched of them, but it's such ugly basketball. Like
No, it's not pretty.
it feels outdated, or they're trying to be like the Warriors from 2015. It's like you don't
Mhm.
have that roster to do that.
Yeah.
And I guess to go back to the East a little bit too, like the Knicks are sitting third,
But
you know? So it's
I
like they I think they're even higher than they were last season, were they not? Didn't they finish like fifth or something?
Uh,
I'm not
Around
too
this
sure.
point, I think they're around a fifth seed, but they did finish like second.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the cat trade. We see the change for the teams though,
For
definitely.
sure. I honestly thought both teams lost too. But now it's like it's so clear that the Timberwolves are the only losing party. And like you gotta feel bad for DiVincenzo because he wanted to be a main guy on a team and now he is, and now you're 10th in the West. Dude.
Yeah.
Like it's gotta feel like, damn, bro, I left a solid team to prove a point, and yet here I am, like struggling to make the play-ins. Julius Randle, yeah, bro. I don't know harp on it too much. And it also must suck for like Ant because he's a player who needs the floor to be spaced. Like
Yeah.
when the like we seen it in the last season with Cat and Gobert, like when the floor was crowded, he couldn't do anything. And now it's basically like it's always crowded no matter what because of Randall and Gobert. Like both are paint heavy players, and now it's like, bro, he can barely do anything now. Because at least Cat was able to get on the perimeter. All right. Any other team you want to bring up?
Is the Suns crazy?
I was about to say the Suns. I just realized they weren't even in like top 10. When
Yeah,
did that
that's pretty
happen?
wild. They're on a 4-game losing streak.
Is that because like everyone's still not playing together or what? Like I don't know nothing about the Suns.
I don't know. Booker's playing.
I think
Booker's always gonna play.
KD's playing. No, all of them are playing.
Really?
And their loss against the Pacers, which is crazy. All three of them played, but Bradley Beal only got 8 points.
On how many minutes?
33.
Oh,
Shit.
something's wrong, bro.
I think
He
I'm
shot
okay
3
with
for
this
12.
outcome. I'm tired of teams trying to like force a super team together. I'm all right with this outcome.
It's kind of sad though, bro. Like Devin Booker at one point was like in the finals, and now he's back to where he began.
With
What should have been
players.
a better team, yeah. What should have been a better team, and now look, like he's back at the starting line basically, which is like sucks because he's getting old. He's only getting older. Like
Yeah.
he's about to be 30, bro, which I know is like not that old technically, but in the NBA, when you hit 30, that's when you start losing grace. Like
You're a vet, like
yeah.
he's hitting his Jimmy Butler era right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I want him to get out of there. I want this entire team to get blown up, dude.
And it sucks too, because I really wanted to see Devin Booker win with them too.
That would have been so great. But like I don't think anyone thought that when they were in the finals, that was their one and only chance. I don't think
definitely
anyone.
didn't.
Yeah, I thought I personally thought they're gonna be back there in like 2 years.
But it just kind of sucks though, because you know the Nuggets also kind of messed up their chances if they even had a chance. You know what I mean? So like they weren't ever gonna beat the Nuggets again, probably. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The Suns, it's probably coaching or like upper management. There's no way it's like them, the players, you know? Maybe it
I
is.
mean, Bradley Beal shot 3 for 12 in 33 minutes. Like,
Hey, bro.
I just think what Vaughn said is probably spot on. They forced a super team, and now they have no bench, and then the people they put together, it's basically KD and Booker. Like Bol barely gets any playing time.
And they don't have much room to fix that because you think number one trade asset would be Bradley Beal, but he's got a no. He's like one of the only players in the league who has a no trade clause. So if you want to trade him, he has to say yes,
which is
or he's just there
insane.
forever.
I hope they figure something out. This might be good for them. Maybe they'll get a good young player instead of I don't know. Who knows?
I'm like, bro, the Suns are like in purgatory right now almost.
Yeah, they really are. Because if they somehow get into the plains, like I would, if I was them, I would I would low key start losing games.
Right. Because, like, okay, if we're being for real, right? They're on a 4-game losing streak right now, which obviously doesn't help. But realistically, they got 15 wins. Only
Timberwolves
5 games behind the 7 seed. Now, with teams, depending on, losing streaks and things like that, the Suns got to win, obviously, more than they lose. But they can easily jump back in the playoff race. Like, in the playoff race. So, like, it's early, obviously. But, they could easily jump to where the Warriors are at right now.
That's definitely a good way to think about it. But also, this team is supposed to be a contender.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
supposed to be getting a championship. It's
People
like,
thought they were gonna be in the finals like a year ago. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like if I was the Suns, I would try to miss the play-ins because let's be honest, bro. Let's say you sneak in at 8 seed. Then what, bro? You get swept in the first round again? And then you don't get a good draft pick, and you're just doing what the Blazers were doing, where you just keep losing and losing.
yeah.
I don't know. I want a board prediction before we move on. I think the Pelicans are going to be the worst team in the league. I think the Jazz are going to get the Wizards are going to get one more win than them. I think Jordan Poole is going to get them out of the worst team in the league. Because the Pelicans are injured. Zion only cares about porn and food. I think Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma can beat the Pelicans out in the worst team of the league.
Yeah.
I mean, with the way that it's trending right now, I mean, you're pretty spot on, bro.
As much as I want to argue that, I don't think you're wrong. I think it's very possible.
All right, moving on. We have a special episode, but before we get into the main topic, if you're listening on Spotify, make sure you give it that good old 5 stars, leave a review, and if you're on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe to get Spin the Rock a great 2025. That would be amazing. But our episode for today is New Year's resolutions, either for a team or a player. What are these teams/players trying to change in 2025? Who wants to kick us off?
I'll go, since we just talked about them. Blow the Pelicans up, bro. Blow it up.
That's
Blow
very
the whole
fair.
thing up. The whole thing up. Trade away CJ. I don't care if he just dropped 50. Trade him. BI. Trade him. Do what you got to do with Zion. Do what you got to do even with Jose Alvarado, bro. Get rid of everybody. Start from scratch. Start completely all the way over. Because this Pelican squad is not it, bro. They are not it. Which they should be, though. They should at least be in playoff contention. I'm not saying they should be contending for a title, but on paper, they are a solid team. But they can just never play together because they're either hurt or load management or off doing whatever they want to do. You know what I mean? So blow it up, bro. That's my New Year's resolution for the Pelicans.
I'd always hoped the Pelicans would break through and then cement themselves as a top playoff contender. But Zion and Brandon Ingram the experiment is over, bro. Brandon Ingram can't be a number one guy. Zion is not healthy enough to be a number one guy. And the rest of the roster is just getting older. They probably should do this 2 years ago when they had Trey Murphy. He could have been the number one dude, but he's 24, 25 already. So he's still young, but not the guy you build around anymore. It's just you don't need to be hanging on to this. would be glory because they never really had the glory.
Yeah, I totally agree, bro. I mean, this year was your biggest test. Like Zion was supposed to be perfectly healthy. Like everyone was technically perfectly healthy at the beginning of the season. And then all of a sudden it was like the biggest downward spiral we might have ever seen from a team who was expected to do well. Like it's kind of insane how everything has been going wrong for this team. And so yeah, I feel like 2025, get some draft picks, bro. Blow it all up. Send Zion send Zion to Atlanta. Get him. That's probably where he's at half the time anyways. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's game over for the Pelicans. I'll go next. Lakers beat the Nuggets. If the playoffs were to start right now, it would be another Lakers Nuggets first round series. So I think for 2025, their New Year's resolution is finally win a series against the Nuggets. And I feel like this year might be their biggest chance yet, bro. Now, I know I'm very aware of the meme of people play 10 times better against the Lakers than they normally do. But I feel like this year, I feel like the JJ Redick can be the one again and pass the Nuggets.
I mean, that's always going to be their hurdle, right? Come playoff time, like eventually the Nuggets will show up. Hey, they got the coaching change they were wanting, you know. So if anyone could do something, it would have to be JJ, because like this roster is basically the same last time they saw him for the most part, minus D'Lo for Dorian.
And to be fair, I feel like the Lakers could have beaten them if it wasn't for Darvin Ham. I feel like there was very close games where Darvin Ham was the reason why they lost.
I mean, I'm hoping we always beat the Nuggets, but the Nuggets always beat us. Like y'all are our worst enemy in the West. So it's like I prepare for a loss every time we play against the Nuggets and just hope for the best. But, you know, hopefully this season, have we even played y'all yet?
I'm not too sure.
I feel like we haven't, but I could be wrong. But I mean, we're definitely most likely not winning an away game. We're not very good away. And especially in Denver, like we're probably losing that 99 out of 100 times. But as long as we win when it matters, I'll be happy, bro.
We played on the 23rd of November, and the Nuggets won 27-102.
Wait, what? 127-102?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the only time so far.
Yeah, that's crazy. And we play 4 times a year, bro.
Might be pushing it all back.
As long as we win when it matters, I'll be happy.
All right. So mine's not a team; it's a player, and it's to De'Aaron Fox. Get out of Sacramento. You are not winning in Sacramento. I think the fact he barely gets All-Star and he's playing as well as he does every year is just like the market isn't big enough, the fan base isn't big enough. Just look at the upper management firing Mike Brown, your most successful coach the whole time you've been there. It's time, bro. Get out of there. Save your career. Like, you could be missing out on accolades because of this.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's mine, De'Aaron Fox.
Another Devin Booker type situation, you know, drafted by the team that you've been on. You trying to believe in, you know, hope for the best. And then the best coach that you ever had on that team gets fired the same year he signs a 3-year extension. So I wholeheartedly agree. He's been needed to get out of there. But if there's been any sign for him to get out of there, this is that sign.
Yeah. That's very fair, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think the best way to put it is the fact that, like, bro, this man has he even been an All-Star more than, like, he only has one, right?
I think, yeah.
And it was because someone was injured. Like that's bro. If I'm him, I'm like sitting there furious because like, bro, I take the Warriors to 7 games in my first playoff appearance, and then not only that, my coach who got me here is fired, and all I have to show for all of this is one All-Star appearance, bro. Like, I feel like he needs to get out of there. And like, there's so many teams that need like a point guard that he can definitely just like click in and make better. But I don't know if he will. He seems like the type to stay with the team the entire time.
Which, like, props to him. You know, like,
Yeah.
realistically, like, every player wants to do that. You know, they want to stay with the team that they get drafted to. But, bro, at some point, especially with the Kings, bro, like, you got to get out of there, bro.
Yeah. How many times have you seen a poor franchise move while you were there, bro?
I could do my next one if you want.
Go for it.
Okay, so another player one. Bro, if I am DiVincenzo, I'm in the gym every day practicing my jump shot because I need to be at half of what the player I was last year. He looks like buns this season. And I don't know why it could be that. Like his efficiency is way down. He's barely scoring 10 points a game. Like in the Knicks, he went from like 6-man of the year type candidate to a starter to like big contributor to a successful playoff team. And now he's just none of that. And it could be like the tumultuous situation in, I don't know, maybe coaching or between Julius Randle. Maybe he's not getting his shots. But maybe if it's not like he can't get his offense going, he's got to get his defense going. Because I've seen good defensive stretches from him. And I know like you probably can't rely on maybe Julius Randle magically becoming an all NBA player again. Rudy Gobert is definitely not going to be a major scorer on this team. So it's probably going to come up to him to at least make an effort to shake things up for the better, you know? Because I know when they traded for him, they were thinking, oh, he's going to be our 6-man of the year go-to. And he's just like very average at best right now.
I know what it is, bro. It's the basketball gods punishing him for being greedy. He wanted to be a main contributor. He wanted more like credit. So he said, I'm not no 6th man. I'm a starter. I'm going to Minnesota. And then the basketball gods were like, shame. And now
Nah, bro.
yeah, now he's doing awfully. He's not as efficient as he was. Like he's still a starter. He got what he wanted, but it's not the way he wanted it at all.
I haven't watched much or really any Timberwolves basketball, so it is kind of unfortunate, you know, just the things that y'all are saying about him. And because I know I was expecting him to play, you know, at least the same level of basketball as he was on the Knicks, although he was in a different system with Tom Thibodeau or whatever. But yeah, I mean, if he can get that jump shot up or just, you know, his scoring output increased, I feel like the Wolves would definitely get some more wins and then jump up in the standings a little bit more.
Yeah,
That would definitely help a lot.
for sure.
My second one, I guess it's kind of a player and a team one. I'm going to say for the Mavs, they need to win without Luka. If they can win without Luka, if they can show that they can win without Luka, that means they'll be fine in the long run. If they can't win without Luka, Luka got to make a decision on, do I stay or do I go?
Mm-hmm.
This may or may not be his make or break year, but at the same time, it very well could be. He's been with this team long enough to see that basically they can't win without him. So if the Mavs can find a way to win without him, then, you know, he should stay. Then he's like, okay, this team has proved, like, you know, that we can go somewhere when I'm not on the bench or when I am on the bench. Sorry.
Yeah.
But if they can't, then it's like, you know, how long am I willing to stay with this team for? But The Mavs definitely need to win without Luka, and so far they are not doing that. They're on a 4-game losing streak since his injury.
Yeah.
So.
I was actually had one similar to that was an honorable mention, and that was proved that last year wasn't a fluke, and it's looking like they are not going to be able to do that, bro. Because if Luka goes down and they are already like going on a losing streak, like what does that say about the Mavs as a whole? Like as Luka, like how much of this can you take? Because let's be honest, bro. I feel like it's getting harder for him to win MVP. Like every year that goes by, it's like someone else outdoes him somehow. Like right now, Shea is probably gonna win it, bro. Like you go back to back first seed, like come on. And then like not only that, but it's like you got Klay Thompson, who everyone thought was washed, and it's like, oh, he produced in the first half of the season, but like, what is he doing now? And it just kind of goes to show that like maybe the Mavs, like they don't know how to build around Luka, and it's the same kind of conversation of with Jimmy and the Heat. It's like, when is that trade demand coming? Because it has to be coming soon.
Right. And you got to still think, too, they got Kyrie as well. So it's like the fact that they have like basically like 2 all-stars on their team, 2 other all-stars on their team, and are still losing is like, what are we doing?
Also, like, I don't think it's unrealistic to think they at least go win one, lose one, win one, lose one without Luka. I feel like that would be enough, at least just like float in your position right now.
Yeah.
But a 4-game losing streak
is insane, dude.
Yeah, like
one of them Blazers and Kings being those losses too, bro.
The Blazers. Yeah, like that's embarrassing, bro.
Yeah, like I don't imagine Luka would be pleased with this, but like, what is he gonna do? Like, he doesn't seem like he would, in the near future, request a trade.
Yeah,
I'm not saying like that would be the right thing to do, but Mavs, come on, bro. Like, you're basketball players. I feel like the way they're playing, they forgot that.
the PJ Washington, man, he can go from scoring 28 points to scoring 6, and it's like, bro, like if I'm the Mavs, I'm like, I gotta find out how and why my players keep being so inconsistent.
But he's always been like that too, even on the Hornets. Like he's always been super inconsistent.
We'll see. For me, mine is also a player specific resolution that is for Wemby to sniff the postseason. I feel like the Spurs are doing way better than I thought they would be for their second year. It seems like they kind of got something figured out. A lot of teams that should have been like fighting for the postseason are not doing that great. So this is the year to get an early taste of postseason NBA. So early into your career, especially with the Spurs in general, they're still pretty young. So this could be a great chance for them. And I feel like Wemby must really want that, especially with Chris Paul, bro. Chris Paul must also really want to get back into the postseason.
I mean, I wouldn't count them out because, like, even if the season ended today and they're in the play-in,
yeah,
I think they can beat all the play-in teams: Clippers, Warriors, Timberwolves. I think they could go right past them. Because I know if I was those teams, I definitely would not want to see Wemby in like a win or lose elimination game. You know?
No, for sure.
Because like, how do you plan for that? How do you make a defense to counter him?
Right.
Like, especially the Warriors, who have no one who's over like 6'10". Yeah. Don't even come to the arena at that point.
Right. Because like, even if like, basically like in my head, the best way would be to double him. Even that, like, he can still reach over you. And then on top of that, they have one of the best point guards ever to play basketball. So it's like, even if the double works somehow, some way, he's just going to find another outlet or another way to score. So it's like, there's not much you could do to guard those two right now.
And they've beaten good teams. Like, they've beaten the Clippers already. They beat the Nuggets like 2 days ago.
Mhm.
So it's like, it's not like they can't beat good teams.
Mhm.
So I feel
Yeah.
like this is a very, very great opportunity for the Spurs.
Yeah,
That's what-
win or lose, it would definitely that would help the Spurs more than
Yeah.
hurt, I think.
Plus, like, if it's Chris Paul against like the Clippers or the Warriors, I feel like he'd be playing with some extra venom just because he's been on those teams before.
He's a
just that-
petty person for sure. All right. Any honorable mentions before we call it?
I have one that I was kind of thinking about while we were just talking or whatever. So it's for the Cavs, and it's kind of like an and or kind of New Year's resolution, I guess. Based on how the playoff picture turns out, they definitely want to at least make the conference finals. I think the Cavs definitely at least want to make the conference finals based on all of their, playoff history with the team that they've had so far. But also, and or they want to beat the Knicks in the playoffs because last year they should have beat them, but they absolutely shit the bed. So they kind of want to get their revenge, although it's a slightly different team. But Cavs versus Knicks, I think it'd be exciting to see. And yeah, I feel like, just as a basketball player myself, you just kind of want to get that get back, you know what I mean?
They've definitely helped their mindset going forward. If the opponent that took you out and you beat them, and if they beat them handedly, if they wipe the floor with them, like that would do wonders for them. So that's a very good pick. For honorable mention, mine's a little one. Nets number one goal should be trade Cameron Johnson because I don't think his trade value is going to get any higher. This is the highest it's going to be. He's scoring like 18 a game on plus 40% shooting. Contenders will want that. You will get a first round pick for that. But they do the mistake of hanging on a player too long. You kind of lose that value. They might end up losing him for a bag of chips next season or something. So they got to do that expeditiously.
Especially with how much they wasted him in general. Like, there's no reason to hold on to him, bro. Like, you clearly don't want him.
Right. Unless they make some crazy big turnaround. But it's the Nets. That's not happening. The Nets will be the Nets. The Kings will be the Kings. Like.
I also have a baby one that I didn't know if I should say or not, but for the Thunder, I want to say for Thunder to get to the Western Conference Finals. Last year it was not disappointing, but the Mavericks definitely weren't the ones that people thought were gonna be in the Western Conference, let alone the finals. So I feel like the Thunder, with how good they keep doing and how much they keep getting better, I feel like for them it's not unrealistic for them to be thinking Western Conference Finals or nothing. Like, I don't think they should be losing in the second round this year. There should be no reason why they do.
Yeah, I mean, they're number one seed and they're young. I think maybe too many teams would get caught up with that fact and be like, you have success now. Why not capitalize on that? Like, there's no downside to having high expectations for this team because they seem to meet a lot of them. But yeah, I really do hope they make it far. They're a fun team to watch.
Yeah,
for real.
It's exciting.
And I feel like they're getting lost in the Cavs. But they're only one loss behind the Cavs.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
They're on a 15-game win streak right now, bro. They're just as close to making history as the Cavs, and I feel like it's kind of getting ignored. I feel like the win streak is getting talked about more than the fact that they're actually 30-5.
Right. But also you got to think too, they're both kind of small markets. You
Yeah,
know,
they are.
like if one wasn't going to be talked about, is going to be the other, and it just so
Yeah.
happens to be Cleveland is a slightly bigger market than OKC. You know, so I feel like that's also a reason as well.
That's very fair. All right. If you have been listening on audio platforms, make sure you give us that good old 5-star, leave a review. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you give a good old like and subscribe for that video format. Let us know a player or a team's New Year's resolution that you think of yourself. And we're also on social media at Spin the Rock for clips and episode updates. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next week.